big and move fast, not move small and slow. If you move small and slow with a new recruit, they are not going to see the amount of success that that people are getting all around this company, and they will quit. And then they will talk, you know, a lot of negative things about you, about the company, that shouldn't be there because you didn't do what you were supposed to do with them in the beginning. Right? So based on double, explain how we're going to get to that 10 by $10,000 goal with the three-headed monster, meaning how many do I need to set to do how many I need to close 10,000 in production and get my 10 recruits. And mix in there, again, the wham theory, what about me, what they are going to get for accomplishing their bonus. If they do 10 by 10,000, guys, they're going to get a $3,000 bonus. You know, people that make $20 an hour at job, $20 an hour job, that's what they make in a month. $3,000 gross. Here, if we talk to them about doing 10 by 10,000 in 2 freaking weeks, they will earn a $3,000 bonus. And they didn't even do all the work. We did it for them. It was a team effort, but they earned net what it takes them 160 hours in a month to earn gross at a $20 an hour job. We can do that in 2 weeks. Plant the seed to do 10 by 10,000 in the first 2 weeks. They don't know any better. They don't know any better. It's your job as the leader to talk to them about moving big and fast. Step number 4, 3-way text. After making a list of a 4-minute name game, which is in the orientation process, 3-way text all non-macho individuals. This is what I do, right? We can get that out of the way in the beginning so that I can call all of those people to become a potential recruit, because I know they're most likely not going to become clients. They're not in our market. I'll call them on another day, meaning the next day, and reach out to all all macho individuals right there and then. And then, you know, after setting my 6 to 10 macho qualified appointments, I'm ending that by making sure they're on Telegram, making sure they're a part of our dynamic group environment on Telegram. I'm welcoming them to Telegram, and then finishing by instructing them on how to set up their studies and giving them, again, an expectation, because it's all about leadership. See, this is why we're licensing more people faster, is because I'm placing an expectation on all new recruits that they need to finish their studies within 2 weeks. I passed my test in 10 days when I was balancing high school work and I met Samir and football. And I'm a C student. I still passed in 10 days. So I know they can pass in 2 weeks. They can finish their studies in 2 weeks if they study every single day for 30 minutes, maybe an hour at night. So we're hitting on all cylinders here. We're placing big expectations to move big, move fast. We're telling them exactly how we're going to do that, not hoping. We're being professionals, turning pro by giving them the 3-headed monster equation, set, do, close, and then finalizing things with getting them acclimated to our environment, our system, and studying. So that's my 5-step game plan, guys. These are a couple results that I put together to give you guys some visualizations of what that game plan has delivered to me personally in the last 60 days. I have closed 16,000 personal, 5,000 last month, 11,000 this month. So from recruiting 1 direct last month at maybe the middle or tail end of the month, Chris, I set 6 appointments. I did 3. We unfortunately didn't close anything out of that. A lot of older folks. But see, most of you guys would have gotten a little rattled perhaps, and that you shouldn't, it shouldn't be that way. See, if you taproot and continue growing through your team, you can continue getting into new markets. From Chris, I found David. David, I set 4, did 3, closed 2. Boom, 2,200 of production. From Chris, I found Cam. Chris and Cam just got licensed in the last 2 weeks. But Cam set 2. We did 1. We closed 1. That was a max case. His mother had a universal life insurance policy. From Chris, I found Jason. Well, actually, Chris brought someone who brought Jason, and we set 3, did 2, closed 1. I remember that. That was a max case group policy situation. Then I was blessed enough to find a incredible, wonderful attitude person, Tara, down in Florida. We set 4, did 3, closed 1, $80 app. From Tara up in New York, she introduced me to Jameson. We set 3, we did 3, we closed 3. That's not the law of averages, but it will average out over time, which it did. But from that, we closed all of them. We got another 2,200 of production. Tara introduced me to someone in Florida as well, Willie. We set 3, we did 3, we closed 1, $100 app. From Tara, introduced me to Peter. We set 1, we did 1, we closed 1, 800 in production. Tara introduced me to David up in New York. I'm so excited about this guy, David. We set 8, we did 6, and we closed like 4 to 5. That and that generated 4,200 of production. David's not my direct, guys. David is second generation to Tara. But I'm the trainer. I'm the one that's fundamentally sound. So 4,200 in production, he's almost at $1,200 bonus. He's 1 recruit away from that. Tara introduced me to Ray up in New York. Actually, Ray is David's brother. He lives in Baltimore, Maryland. I made a mistake. We set 4, did 3, closed 1. Then Defy. That is David's daughter's mother, who became a client but was keeping her options open to extra income. We recruited the client. Defy ended up setting 4 at her fast start meeting. We did 3, we closed 2, 1,800 in production. And then Garrett, finally. That is, Garrett came from Ray, who came from David, who came from Tara. 4 deep right there. We set 2, we did 1, we closed 1,000. So the moral of the story here, guys, is that you want to first get fundamentally sound. Samir, I think at one point told me, if you don't read these books and listen to these audios, I'm not mentoring you. So thank God he did that, because it caused me to get fundamentally sound. I turned my car into a university, and now I know exactly what I need to know when training new recruits. A lot of new recruits have a lot of questions, guys, and you got to be ready to answer them. So 1, become fundamentally sound, and 2, focus on getting directs. 4, to be exact, get 4 directs, because 3 of them won't be the caliber that you want. 1 will, but you will. And the third moral of the story, tap root through all 4. If you get 4 directs, and you get them 5, I focus on building them a team of 5 as soon as possible. Guys, look at that. I got 17 IBAs myself. Now, they weren't all direct. I was involved in 17 IBAs last month. That's 17 recruits I generated. I didn't get 17 directs though. I tap rooted through them. Now here's the key. If when you recruit these directs and their and directs for them, assuming all of them come with 4 to 5 QAs set, how many QAs can you set between all of them? That's 6 times 4, that's 30. 30 times 5 is whatever that is. I'm not good at math. You guys get the point. So they assume every new recruit comes with 4 to 5 set appointments. And if you keep that focus and maintain your love for recruiting, you guys will, and I do believe this, double your personal production, double your recruiting, and most importantly and attractively, double your income.
Josh, share your screen again and bring up your first slide with the 5 points, please. All right, I'm gonna end it by summarizing. This was really good for me to hear as well. I need to brush up on a lot of these things, but as I listen to this, I wanna stress the importance of this. Okay, this, you know, there's things in Primerica that are the real work. This is right here the real work in Primerica. Number one, the way that you find that first person, you have to have front-end activity. So that's sending out text messages, that's going on, let's say LinkedIn, that's going on your social media, that's calling resumes, whatever it is that, whatever methodology that people have in finding people, there has to be a block time period on a daily basis where you are solely reaching out to people. But then from there, it cannot be, oh, well, I'm just inviting them to webinars and say, hey, show up to this training and hope that people are going to do things. One of the things that my mentor, Hector Lamarck, taught me and everybody else through audios, he said, people left to their own devices do nothing. And that's what happens. We invite people to a Saturday and we think, okay, because Shaq talked about setting appointments, that they are going to set the appointments. Or because Shondell and Jen did a great recruiting training, that they're going. Training does not lead to action. It doesn't. What leads to action, Josh, mute yourself real quick. What leads to action is you sitting down with people and going through these activities. Number one, what did he say? You got to get them on the webinar, and then they have to do the orientation 24 to 48 hours. See, he said the words, now I'm gonna place importance on the words, okay? It's not you watch the webinar and then 19 days later you watch part 2. They're not going to remember anything. Their excitement is gonna go down. After they see the webinar and they're excited, they have to watch my orientation. I will do the heavy lifting for you. I'll explain the mindset. I'll go through everything to get them comfortable with why we do the things that we do. And look what he says. He's creating the expectation right away. He's saying, make a list of qualified people, you know, 25 people before you even watch the orientation. They don't know what it's for, but their coach is telling them to do it. They've got involved in a new company. They don't know what's normal, what's not. They're already coming into the door with a list. Now he's asking for 25, maybe he gets 11, but he's not asking for 5 and then getting none, right? Now, you have to lay expectations of a fast start. This is the problem, is that we take our shit and we put it on the new person. What do I mean by that? Well, maybe you were reluctant to get out in the field in the beginning. Maybe you took a long time to pass your exam. Maybe you didn't want to go and give up sales because the bonus system didn't exist at the time that you got hired. And so you take those expectations and you put them all on the new person. And you expect that they're not going to want to go on appointments and they don't want to come to meetings and they don't want to make a list. That's not how things work. You have to learn from your own mistakes. People have to move fast. You have to create that mindset with people. You have to sit down with them. You got to make a list. He's saying, hey, when you make the list, this is what's going to happen. The point of the list is we're going to set 6 qualified appointments minimum, but 10 is going to be the goal. You don't say, hey, call your list and let me know how it goes. You don't say, hey, let's see if we can set 1. He's setting the proper expectations. Remember, when they come in, you create the normal. They haven't been in Primerica before. They don't know what a lot or a little is. You create that in people's mind, right? And then you have to set the actual appointments, right? You have to go out there and you have to get them to send the 3-way text messages. You have to communicate with the client or get one of us to do that. This is where the work is. It's extraction. You think about the word extraction, okay? When you go to the dentist and you get an extraction, that's not a fun procedure, okay? I'm not saying that these orientations are fun, but it's necessary and we make the money. The people come in the door, they have resources. They know people. They know people that have universal. They know people that have whole life. They know people that hate their job. They know people who want to join, but they're not just going to give it up just to give it up. It has to be extracted through this process, through this mindset, right? Through the progression that we go through to get the resources from them. And then it's a win-win. Look at all those people that are going to get bonuses. Look at all those clients that got helped. Josh at half the month is almost at, he was at 5,000 of income at almost half the month. I mean, it's unbelievable, guys. And look at this. All of this came from one guy, okay? Tara came from a referral from someone else. If he didn't do an orientation and he didn't get that list and he didn't have the courage, he didn't have the discipline to get Chris to introduce him to other people, Chris didn't, for now, Chris has, I took him on some of those appointments. Okay. By the way, if Chris listens to this and listens to the recording, we have people in, just as of now, we haven't closed, right? But look at all the people that Chris brought in, all the sales that they brought. See, that's what's happening. You're hitting a wall. You're hitting a roadblock because you're not doing the proper job in getting people started. And that's preventing you from getting to the David, getting to the Cam, getting to the Jason, right? It's preventing you from going from Tara to JMO, Willie, Peter, David, Ray, Defy. You never would have got to them because you're not putting in the work in doing the orientation. This took me the longest to master, but I knew it was the most important. And when I mean long, I mean like a few months, not years, okay? But the orientation, not just the video that I show, but the work session you do with people after is where your money is made. And if you don't do it and you don't put the proper expectations, you're not going to have a team and you're not going to have, a distribution. You're not going to have a business. You're going to have a bunch of people that are waiting, right? And in this game, you can think or you can do. And if you don't push people into action by going through this process, you're going to have a bunch of thinkers. And usually people don't think themselves into things. They think themselves out of things. So this is a very important training that Josh did today. And what's amazing is that it's not just hollow words and it's not just training. It's actually materializing into unfreaking believable results. And dude, I'm so freaking proud of you. I know that no one has been harder on you than I've been. And I haven't been harder on anyone than I've been on you. And you took it and you've grown from it. And you're a crazy self-improver and you've made great decisions. And now it's catapulting you into the #1 category. Really you're competing at a national level. So really proud of you. I hope that you guys got something out of this. There's nothing better for you as a trainee or as an agent to see what people are doing that are winning. We don't just want to put them up and clap for them. We want to say, hey, not only are we going to recognize this person, but we're going to force them to tell you how they're doing. You guys are his competition, but in Primerica, we don't look at it that way. We want everyone to grow together. So
Samir,
everybody plugging in. Go ahead.
Real quick, because I've a lot of people on the training we did last weekend while you were doing the orientation where they really wanted to do a QA, like a brief QA. So maybe we could open the floor up for 4 or 5 questions.
Yeah, we can do that. So people should be allowed to unmute themselves if they want to ask a question.
Or put it in the chat and we can
okay, put the question in the chat. That'll be easier. Put the question in the chat and then Josh will answer.
The chat is disabled.
Oh, the chat is disabled. Sorry, Amanda. You just said that.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my bad. Okay, unmute yourselves. My bad. Maybe, can they unmute? Because this is yours.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can change myself to the host. can you change me back to the host, and then I'll go ahead and do it. I'll enable the chat.
I don't know how to do that.
So click on my picture, the blue box.
Oh, okay.
Make host.
Got it. All right, Samir, make host. Okay. All right, you're good.
All right. Oh, it's in security, sorry. I think I could have done it the whole time. All right, try now.
Chat it up, chat it up. Okay. How do you deal with people reluctant to share their name list? That's a good question. You know, if you're, I actually deal with it with that reluctancy to this day. It depends on the type of market that you're in. To be honest, a lot of times you have to earn that person's trust, and if you show, you know, even if you haven't gotten the results yourself, you can show my presentation just now. If you snapshot my presentation, go back to YouTube, snapshot the names that we got, boom, 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 and you say, look, from building this name list and executing on it, this person got a $1,200 bonus in 2 weeks, right? And you implement the WHAM theory. What about me? Dominique, they're going to want to divulge their contacts. They'll want to put you in front of more people if you tell them what they'll get out of it and show examples of other people that have done it. Monkey see, monkey do. It's just human nature.
Okay, let me also take a stab at that. So someone's being reluctant, right? We want to know, hey, Dominic, what's the issue here? Oh, well, you know, I don't want you guys to have all these numbers and call people. Okay, well, this is really just an exercise, Dominic, where I want to see what your inventory is, right? In any business, you have an inventory, and you have to know what's available to me that I can move out and distribute to people, okay? So it's just an exercise. So why don't we do this? Would you be more comfortable if we made that name list, but we did it without phone numbers? Because again, it's just an exercise to see what you have, right? Now, if they're not willing to put names on paper without phone numbers, then now we are wasting our time, okay? That's like saying, well, what if someone is unwilling to get licensed? Then they're freaking fired, right? There's nothing we can do for them. If they don't have a market, if they're not willing to actually move forward, then now we have hit a standstill. And so at a very minimum, what we can do is we can say, look, let's just put the names down. Now, once the names are down without the numbers, let's talk through and qualify this list. Tell me about these people, right? And then let's see if we can send one three-way text message to one person. Let's see how it goes. And you kind of have to, you know, like a kid, hold their hand and walk through the process. Okay. All right. What's next? How do we don't want to spend too much time on one. How do you move?
No, I'm reading them. If you recruit someone, are you directly responsible for them? I love that because, you know, you saw all those names that came from one person and trickled down. The rule of thumb is you are supposed to treat every single person that gets recruited under you as if they were direct to you. So if someone is direct to you, you definitely are responsible for their success. Definitely. But if you build a team around this one direct, you're responsible for all of them as well. You're the leader of that pack until this direct has gotten the transference of fundamentals that you have. You're responsible for all of them.
Okay, but again, I want to add, you know, it depends on who's asking, right? So if I recruit somebody and then I recruit somebody under them, okay? So if I recruit Sheila and Sheila recruits Angie, and Sheila's been here for 1 week, is Sheila responsible for Angie? No, right? So what we want you to do is we want you to create a mess, and then we're going to work everything out, right? We want you to just get out there, get as many people as possible. We are going to take that burden on us. We're going to put that on us. We will call everyone. We will keep up with everyone. We will manage their list. We will take them on appointments, right? And that relieves the pressure off you, because at the end of the day, you don't really know what to do anyways, and you can go and you can do what you do best, which is introduce us to even more people. So you are in the beginning, you are not responsible, but at some point, yes, you're responsible for your directs and then even their directs. So let's go to the next one.
How are you overcoming objections with time and steady source of income objections? So I don't have enough time. I don't want to, I'm scared because it's not guaranteed. You want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, this is an easy one. Oh, I don't have time. Well, how much time did you think it was going to take? You know, and in the presentation, we say 8 hours. You don't have 8 hours in a week. There's 168 hours a week. You don't have 8 hours. By the way, my people that work 8 hours are making, $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 in a year. You don't have time to work 8 hours in a week to make an extra 24 when right now you're making 50. That's 50% more income. You don't have time for that. I feel like there's a disconnect. Maybe you don't really believe what I'm saying here, but I don't see how you don't have time to make $500 in an hour. That's the way that I say it when I'm training you guys. Obviously, I don't have that tone when I'm talking to somebody new. It's what I'm thinking in my head, but it doesn't come out that way. I'm much, much nicer and softer. But I know, Josh, what you like to do is you like to go through their whole week and actually see what.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, but now I'm like this. How much time how much time are you at home? Like in a week, how much time do you spend in your house? Because see, all of our people now, 350 licensed brokers and agents, they all work from home. Would you like to bring in an extra $3-4 grand a month from home? Do you have a phone? Do you have a tablet?
Yeah,
Wait, that's all you need.
The steady income, this is just part-time, right? So, hey, Dominic, do you have a job right now? Yeah, I have a job. Okay, are you able to pay your bills? Yeah, I am. Okay, so what you make in Primerica is just icing on top. If there's a month where you don't make money for whatever reason, then you're still supporting yourself, so no big deal. So remember that it's part-time. If you come back and say, well, right now I don't have a job, okay, well, go find one. This is just part-time in the beginning. So, okay, that's
direct approach. 20 million North Americans are filing for unemployment right now because of the coronavirus. So how guaranteed is a job? That's a little more direct. So next question. I skipped one, and it was if you recruit someone out of state, the recruit is not licensed yet. How do you get them insurance?
I didn't understand the question.
I didn't understand it too much either. That's Charmaine.
And if you can, let's go to this next one. So everyone is interested in being recruited. Everyone that's interested always asks how they'll be paid. I understand everything is word of mouth, but a lot are skeptical about this, and they don't understand the process. And that's what stops them every time when I'm close to recruiting. Well, how do we get paid? We get paid based on transaction, right? How many transactions and how big those transactions are. So what I like to say is you get paid based on the percentage of the revenue that you bring in. And then you got to learn how to show how the commission pays out on a life insurance application, right? So if you pay $83 a month times 12 is going to be $1,000 in premium, and depending on what contracts, you have to be able to explain the compensation. So I think that when you do that, people will understand. And not everybody's comfortable getting paid based on transaction, but it's a better way to get paid than getting paid based on time. Because when you get paid based on a transaction and you make $600 in 1 hour, well, when you get paid based on time for that same $600, you're going to have to work, 40 hours. So when you learn to explain the compensation with life insurance, I think that you'll do a little bit better job.
Yeah. I think Anisha copied and pasted the question. Oh, okay. I think asking how if you're licensed in Virginia, can you write someone up who is in a different state?
Well, Josh has been getting his non-resident licenses. So he has in New York, he has the Florida, he has all these different ones. So that's how he's able to do that. So that is something. I mean, if you are going to be recruiting people from different states, and you just go out there and you pay a little bit of money to get that license. So I think that answers that. So guys, we've reached our time. I don't want the recording to go too long, but I appreciate you guys plugging in. We'll see you next week.